So I finally came out to my mom as a crossdresser and as gender fluid. So I've been kind of cooped up in this little space. I basically have like half a room. My mom's actually still moving in, so boxes and moving stuff is still like everywhere in this house, and I don't actually have a room to myself. I'm sharing it with a plethora of boxes. So the story kind of goes, I haven't seen my mom in like over a year since she moved to Vegas, and about a year ago was when I first started exploring my cross-dressing side and started questioning my gender identity. And just recently, I have kind of accepted that I am on the scale of being gender fluid. And I think a lot of cross-dressers can relate to that because I guess the term gender fluid can be a little bit confusing. For me personally, I like identifying as male and as female. And I can kind of fall within different spectrums of gender. Sometimes when I identify as male, I like dressing very feminine. Sometimes when I identify as female, I like dressing very masculine, and it kind of fluctuates between the two. So I found that gender fluid really makes the most sense for me at the time. And that could change in the future, who knows, but just to kind of classify where I am at my journey, I landed on gender fluid. But anyways, yeah, I haven't seen my mom in like over a year, and I used to dress pretty masculine. You know, I was always into fashion and things like that, but it was also just very masculine, and I didn't really get to explore my feminine side that much. So when I finally came here and she saw me, I had a bunch of piercings now. I got earrings on. I had my nails painted. I had longer hair than I had a year ago. Now it's like super long. And I wear a lot more jewelry. Now my mom's pretty old school with her thinking. You know, she's in her 60s, and that's an older generation with more conservative views. So I knew it would be kind of difficult for her to accept me for what I was doing. To be honest, I was scared to death to tell her. And I was planning on, settling in, maybe wait a few weeks, maybe a month, maybe 2 months before telling her. Literally on the first day, she called me out on my long hair and the fact that I wore a bag, like a purse bag. And I think out of all things, like, that's the thing she would call me out on. First of all, let me show you my bag. This is it right here. This is like a pretty gender neutral bag, I feel like. I guess I did little accessorize with this cute little panda that I got, but it's a pretty gender neutral bag. But so out of all things, she would call me out on that. But basically she was like, Nick, you can put your hair down and wear your bag, and no one would know from behind looking at you that you're a man. You could pass as a woman. And I was like, yeah, I could. And then she went like, you could cross-dress, Like, do you cross-dress? And then at that point, I was like, do I tell her now or lie about it? And I figured, I was going to tell her anyways, and she literally asked me. So I figured just screw it. Why not just tell her now? So I was like, yeah, I actually do. And she was like, really? Like, a judgmental, really? I'm like, yeah, what do you think about it? And she paused a little bit, and she eventually said that she doesn't really understand it, but she feels neutral for it. So she wasn't for it or against it. And, I'll take that. That's way better than her like disowning me or something. But the fact that she didn't completely be like, no, you can't be doing that, is already a win in my books. Now, I get the feeling that she's kind of still against it and doesn't want me to do it, but I think she's kind of just in shock that I'm into that kind of stuff, and she doesn't really know how to deal with it because she's never had to deal with it before. And that's okay, you know, she's an older generation and they really never had to deal with this kind of stuff until just recently. So even though I feel like she's against it a little bit, at least she's understanding, and I hope that she's going to be able to accept it more and more as time goes on. So, whew, I was like, that was like kind of like a whole thing off my shoulders because I feel like I couldn't really, I was like hiding something and I like feel like I had to just like let it out because like it's kind of a big part of me now, and hiding that from someone that's like as close to you as your mom kind of like, it like suppresses your like relationship with them and it just feels bad. So now that that's kind of out in the open, I feel a lot better. Now, she hasn't actually seen me dressed up or anything yet, which is still a hurdle I have to cross over, which I'm not ready if I want to cross that yet. Maybe I just do it little by little. But now that I know it's out there, we can work through it and hopefully just get to where I want to be, able to just be myself around her. And I think that's the goal. But yeah, so there's only like a handful of people in my personal life that know that I do cross dress, and my mom is really the only one in my family that knows at the moment. I do have a brother that I plan on telling eventually, and I do have a grandma that lives with me at the moment that I'm not sure if that'll go very well. Because my mom, she's old school, but my grandma is old school. So, maybe that one will just keep it a secret. I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of how it went down. And honestly, it wasn't that bad. To be fair, my mom is pretty accepting of things like that because she grew up with a gay brother. So, she kind of was introduced into the whole LGBT thing through him. So it wasn't a complete shocker. So if anyone's out there that is just waiting for the right time to tell whoever they want to tell, I encourage you to just do it. Now, of course, like read the situation, if they would be accepting or not accepting, but really it's like a huge load off your shoulders if you can just talk to someone about it. It can be a friend, it can be a random person, it could be a family member or anything like that. But if you can just talk about it to someone, it makes such a big difference. That's why I kind of started this YouTube channel, so I can like connect with like-minded people and I can kind of speak my mind without being completely judged by the people around me. Because you all are so accepting and I love you guys and I'm so thankful for everyone that's been so supportive of me so far. That's kind of how it went, and I hope this can help inspire someone in the same position to just make the leap and come out. Because that's all we want to do, right? Just come out, be ourselves, and just live our lives. So that's going to be it for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.